everyone, so today I'm just going to do a quick unscripted video where I show you the 5 calligraphy supplies I couldn't live without. I'll link them all below. Most of them you can get on Amazon, and that could be found in my Amazon shop, which is amazon.com/shop/designbylainey at any time, as well as a ton of our other supplies are listed there. And this is going to go a little bit beyond just your regular nibs and holders and normal calligraphy supplies to kind of second level things that took my game just up a little bit of a notch and then have helped me fix errors, become more efficient, etc. And I think the most expensive one is like 12 bucks. So without further ado, my first calligraphy tool I couldn't live without is gouache. We use Winsor & Newton Designer's gouache, which comes in these tubes. I always have a giant tube of white and a giant tube of black because they're the most common colors that I use. And then I try to keep a good sampling of the rest of the color spectrum so that I can always mix pretty much any color. These are basically a thicker, more opaque watercolor, and if you want to use colored ink at all, they're the best. Hands down, easiest way to make any color ink. I also use the black wash a lot instead of sumi ink because there are some things like on metallic envelopes, sumi ink doesn't dry super well. So I like to use gouache because it's going to dry quicker and more heartily, so it's not going to smear as much. And that brings us to number 2, which is gum arabic. This just is like a powder. It comes in this little jar and kind of gets everywhere if you spill it. But you want to mix a little bit in with any of your inks that aren't sticking super well. I don't mix it with sumi ink ever, but I always mix it with gouache because that makes it just stick a little bit better. Definitely won't smear if you have a little bit of gum arabic. Number 3, we have our little ink jar holder from Ashbush, and I have the gray marble. I have a couple of these. Of course, they're stained with all different colors of ink. These are also her ink jars that she sells, which are a great option, or you can get ink jars from anywhere that will work. Even just normal other shaped ones will fit in there usually too. So what this does is if you're mixing a unique color of ink, like this is like a dusky rose, it's very particular, you don't have to mix the entire jar to be able to dip your nib into it. You just have to mix as much as you need, because if you've done calligraphy for a while, you'll notice that you don't actually need that much ink to do a project. So you just put that in here. It makes the ink pool at an angle, so then you don't need as much and you can still dip and get your nib fully covered. So again, these are from Ashbush. She sells them on Etsy in lots of different colors. They're tiny, they're reasonably priced. They're amazing, and I always take them with me on vacations with an empty one of these and a few different colors of gouache. So then if I have an emergency calligraphy thing, I can just mix the tiniest little bit, because these sometimes spill in an airplane or explode. Bad things have happened. So you can just mix a little tiny bit. You can use this to get to it very easily, and then you can just wash it out and you don't waste a ton of ink. So number 4 is my Black & Decker laser level, which you can get on Amazon or at Home Depot or Lowe's or any hardware store. This is amazing. I use my slider writer a lot for calligraphy, but they don't make those anymore. So this is a great way that you can make a kind of makeshift one. If you take a clipboard and you mark out different measurements on it, like with a ruler, then you can just use your laser level, and what it does is it creates a straight line for you to write on. And then you can just move it up and down, and it's got levels at the top so that you can tell if it's pointing perpendicular or kind of at a weird angle or something, so that helps you get the line straight. And you can also use this on larger projects. I use it on mirrors and signs, or if you're doing chalkboards, you can get some that actually have suction cups that will stick to a wall and give you a line all the way across. So it's a really, really great tool to have. And number 5, last but definitely not least, I would probably get rid of everything else I mentioned before getting rid of this little guy. So this is my sand eraser from Tombow. Just so you can see, I'll of course link this below. I get these on Amazon in multi-packs because I absolutely love them, and they also last for a long time. So you don't need too many, but I like to have them in my travel case, in both my desks, all over the place whenever I'm going to be working on anything, even if it's not calligraphy. That has to do with paper. So this little guy is basically like an eraser with sandpaper in it. So if you have a tiny little blemish, or if you make a tiny little error on your calligraphy, you can use this to very lightly and gently sand away the top edge of the ink or a little bit of paper. Sometimes paper comes with like a tiny little blemish in it because it's recycled. And so if I don't like where that is, I can use this sand eraser to just lightly rub the surface of it, and you never notice afterward. There are so many envelopes that I have saved if I made a tiny little error or had a little drip that I've saved using this guy, and I absolutely love it. Also, if you print on handmade paper ever, you get little black marks on the edges all the time. There's no way to avoid them, and this little guy will get them off so easily. If you have ever used the X-Acto knife trick, this is super helpful as well. If you have something that's a little bit more aggressive or in the middle of a letter, you can use the X-Acto knife to kind of pick it off. But that'll usually leave marks in the paper, so we always use the sand eraser afterward to smooth out the surface of the paper. So just to go over everything, we've got gouache, where you can use to make ink of any color. We've got gum arabic that you mix in with gouache or any inks that are not sticking 100%. It helps them. It's basically just gum, like it's just sticky, which is awesome. You have to use this if you use the Pearl X pigments, or they will just wash away after they dry. Then we've also got the Ash Bush ink holder, angled ink holder. Our laser level to help us make straight lines on large or small surfaces, and in my opinion, most importantly, my Tombow sand eraser. So let me know what you think of these. If you have any questions about where to find these, how to use them, what types to get, I'd be happy to answer them in the comments below. And make sure you subscribe using the button in the corner to get more videos that they launch every Thursday.